One of my mutuals, I tagged her below. Go check out her page. She talks about this stuff all the time. Um, when I post videos, just kind of saying, hey, it's okay if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, but make sure you have money saved. Make sure you have a plan B if something goes awry. Make sure you can find some kind of way to make a little tiny income if possible. I always get women who comment and send me messages and they say something along the lines of, oh, well, if he leaves me, I will just take him to court and get half of everything. I will just get child support. I will just do this. And you can, when I hear women just really simplify the process and make it sound like it's just this easy piece of cake, as easy as going to the store and getting some milk, it's no big deal. I know that, bless their hearts, I know that they do not know what they are talking about. The question that I want to post before I dive into this video is, what is the harm in having a plan so that no matter what happens, you and your children will be okay? What's the harm in that? So many women assume that couples who get divorced were couples who started off hating each other, right? They assume that um, stay-at-home moms who wind up struggling financially knew that from the beginning. And I want to tell you guys that there are people in divorce court right now who once, like you, they love their man. Their man was amazing. That's their partner. They don't know what they would do without that man. That's their best friend, nicest guy in the world, hardworking guy, and now they're getting divorced. So with that, I just want to say a couple of things. Number one, for everybody that's like, well, I'll just be a stay-at-home mom, I'll just get a prenup. I love that. That is very smart, as you should. However, I must warn you that prenups can be argued, and it takes time, a lot of the time, to see any of the benefits from that prenup. The next thing is, as my mutual stated in her video that I saw her post yesterday, for everybody that's screaming from the rooftops that they're going to get half, 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 half is only really a lot if you were married to somebody who's damn near making $500,000 a year, okay? Half of your ex's $40,000 a year salary isn't going to do shit, because let's put this on paper. You have to pay those lawyers back, okay? You are now paying bills on your own. The financial situation for you has changed into a situation where now you are taking care of everything. So you might get half, but by the time you finally get it, it's going to dwindle down into nothing. You were like, I'll just put them on child support. Again, it's not going to be direct deposited into your bank account the following business day, the moment you file. Okay, sweetie. There's mediation that takes place. There's court dates that take place. It could be a really long while before you see anything. And that is if they actually pay it. Oh, yeah, I totally get it. Not your husband. He's a hard worker. Yeah. There are so many women who once had men who really did work hard. And then when they were ordered to pay child support, they left the city, they left the state, they left the country. They faked some kind of disability. They stopped working. They got themselves fired. They work under the table. I know that one personally. So just because it's ordered does not mean it's going to get paid to you. And again, unless you were married to some wealthy NBA player or actor or something like that, you are not going to get this crazy amount of money that you're going to be able to live this rock star lifestyle off of. When it comes to alimony, it's hard to get alimony. And just because you ask for it doesn't mean you're going to get. I think a lot of you um, watch a lot of TV shows. Nothing wrong with that. I love TV. But it seemed to have given us this delusion that this whole divorce process is easy. There are some divorces that go on for months, and there are some divorces that go on for years. And the last thing I want to touch on is a lot of women will say, well, my husband wouldn't do that because he's amazing, he's loving. I just want you to know, sweetheart, the man you marry, okay, is not going to be the same man you divorce. The man who was loving and giving and nurturing is going to be penny pinching and stingy and going to try to devalue everything that you have ever done for them in the span of you guys' marriage. You guys are going to go back and forth in mediation as you argue over who's going to see the kids. And you might say, well, of course he'll give me the kids. Again, who you start with is not going to be who is in that courtroom with you. And you're going to see the most loving man become the most selfish, stingy, vile person possibly that you have ever met. And if you're under the delusion that, well, once I get to court and tell the judge everything I've done for this man, I gave up my career, you're, again, living in a state of delusion. They do not have any pity on you just because you were a stay-at-home mom who gave up your career. They're going to want to know, do you have your own place to stay? Do you have a way to provide for your kids now? If not, you run the risk of your partner getting custody of those children, or a majority of the custody of those children, either permanently or until you can get your own income and a place to stay. I'm going to say the worst financial decision that a woman can make is making a man her financial plan. Well, I'll just give up everything because he's going to take care of me. Please don't. You need to have money saved up, or you need to find a way to have some money coming in. And you might say, well, I'll just stash away and nickel and dime every time I go to the grocery store. First, I want you to ask yourself, how long is it going to take for you to save enough money to go out on your own by doing that? And in the meantime, how much are you and your children going to endure as you are putting together pennies and nickels so that you guys can leave? It's so heartbreaking that patriarchy has such a grip on us that a message of telling women, hey, just have a plan, just be prepared, gets argued. And I will have women fight till the bloody death to tell me how wrong this message is and how their man would never. And in all honesty, the facts will back me up. We know the divorce rate. Most of those women who are arguing with me are going to fuck around and find out. And it's not going to be a pretty experience. Okay? And even if they don't, have a man that leaves them or whatever the case may be, there might be a financial crisis that arises in your family that could be alleviated if you brought in some kind of income. Nobody thinks about that part. So anyway, for anyone who has ears to hear and receive this message, I hope you do.